Hello, this is Kenyatta Dakers, and the presentation will be on conflict, delegation, and a healthy work environment. There was a situation between a staff nurse and a CNA where the patient was admitted for a DVT in the leg. The RN assigned to that patient was making patient rounds and noticed that the patient's IV infusion of the heparin drip was disconnected. The RN asked the patient about the infusion, and the patient stated that the CNA removed it because the infusion was beeping. For negotiating before the conflict, you want to make sure that you are aware of the situation. You do have, the least amount that you will be in agreement with, depending on the solution for that. You also want to look for any hidden agendas that may or may be visible. During the conflict, you want to make sure that you remain calm. You want to make sure that you're assertive and flexible, and you want to listen attentively and just speak in a regular tone without causing any other escalation in the situation. And after the conflict has been resolved, you want to just make sure you point out the agreements on both parties, whether verbally or written. You also want to just recognize and allow and acknowledge their participation in the matter. For the conflict management steps, for this incident, the CNA was in nursing school, so compromising or giving up something or competing where the party wants to pursue something regardless of the other needs, that did not take place. However, due to the CNA forgetting to tell someone or not knowing the reason for the heparin drip, avoiding took place where they were aware of the conflict because they knew that they weren't supposed to do that, but they didn't acknowledge or attempt to resolve it by telling someone. The CNA did state that other times other nurses had her do certain tasks as such. So the RN was empathetic with her because she felt that other RNs would allow her to do the same. So smoothing did take place in reference to her, the emotional component. Also, cooperating and took place where the nurse cooperated with the CNA by educating her on the reasons for the heparin drip and circumstances which may cause pulmonary embolism or death in reference to the actions. And also collaborating. Both parties did work together in the end to come up with at least, okay, if something happens, if the RN who's responsible is not available, get some other authoritative staff that can assist with acknowledging that the heparin drip was off or telling another nurse about it. 3 destructive techniques of conflict resolution would be ridicule, ambiguous, inappropriate questioning, and flattery, which can be used both as a benefit and a consequence of resolving resolutions. For delegation, you must know the right person, the right task, the right circumstance, the direction or supervision. In this scenario, the right person was the registered nurse who was delegating a CNA to perform the task of a blood glucose reading in the right circumstance was just a standard bedtime glucose reading. The direction or communication that was initiated or given to the CNA was that if the blood sugar reading was below 60 or greater than 350, she would contact or advise the, the registered nurse. That way she can either administer the insulin protocol or act immediately depending on situation. So the right supervision would be to obtain the blood glucose reading and just proceed accordingly depending on results. Some delegation errors. One can over-delegate, meaning, for example, a manager can ask staff nurse to do her duties, such as making rounds on other units, or under-delegating, meaning one can assume the other lacks ability by not giving them the opportunity to do different tasks that would enhance their growth. The person may under delegate if they lack the trust. They may not think that the person is capable of completing the task, therefore they try to do it themselves. Also, when you delegate to the wrong person, the wrong task for the wrong reason, that can be improper delegating. And one should keep in mind that an RN is responsible for supervising a task that's delegated and may be liable if a negligent act is proceeded at that time of them supervising a CNA, for example. Healthy work environment is defined as someone, manager that considers the workers as individuals in priority. They also are skillful in communicating, whether good or bad situations on the unit. They honor their integrity. They collaborate together. Also, they make decisions efficiently and effectively throughout the unit. Staffing is appropriate to distribute the workload. Also recognize and their leadership skills are authentic. Some components of healthy work environment would be, as stated before, skilled communication, meaningful recognition, and leading with authenticity. My present work environment, it is healthy at times. However, when we do have short staff, it's unhealthy because patient care is at risk. One thing that we do on the unit is we pull together to assist each other, whether it's CNA or nurse to nurse. We assist each other and help each other out with patient care, and also doing vitals or attending to call lights if we're short staffed. Also, our unit does have a high turnover rate because of such. We have short staff, and the nurses and CNAs are overworked. However, we do have new managers that are making lists to delegate tasks to each person of the unit, and who's ever in charge of the unit, they just have to make sure that the tasks are supervised and are complete. One thing I do see very little of is recognition on our floor. They recognize the units, but not not the unit, but the floors, but they don't recognize the units separately. Again, teamwork in nursing is very important, and how to be a key contributor in your unit will definitely benefit patient safety.